And it's all yours.
Okay. So for those of you who are, if you're driving, do not close your eyes. For those of you who are at home or someplace where you can close your eyes, I want to invite you to just kick back and close your eyes for a few minutes. And I've just lit a candle here with Our Lady of Guadalupe and also some sage. I also have a condor feather here, which is a little unusual condor feather. It's one that's closer to the body. It's both dark and light. It was given to me as a gift. I did not buy this condor feather. I did not encourage the buying of condor feathers in Peru. But this was given as a gift from someone who knows where, who knows where to find the feathers. So this condor feather is part of the energy that's calling us there. And I just want to send some smudge out to everyone and to help us all come into an alignment together. So I know some people will be listening to this later, and some people are on now. So I just want to invite everybody who can close their eyes, like I said, who's not driving or you're walking through the mall or something, to close your eyes and to take a deep breath. And imagine that you can smell the smudge that I've just lit. And let this condor feather waft the smoke of this sage over to each of you. Ah. And as the smoke comes to you, as it disappears from this realm into the realms where you are and beyond, with the spirit of the condor, imagine, if you will, in your mind's eye that you can see the condor. And the condor's wing spread can be up to 10 feet. So just imagine that for a moment. Condor with a 10-foot wingspan. And how powerful those wings are. And what a powerful symbol the condor is, the great Nekbet Mother Mut in Egypt, but the great condor vulture of the Andes. And the power in those wings that can lift them off the ground and heavenward higher than any other bird. As they fly over the Andes, as they catch the drafts and go up so high that they look like a tiny dot in the sky in an already very high elevation. And yet, when they come closer to you, they look almost prehistoric, like some sort of dinosaur flying in the sky. And some call these the keepers of the gateways of heaven, or the Hanupacha. And they are in alignment as the upper world with both the middle world, which is this dimension that we walk around in, which is called the Kayapacha, and the place of the puma, the jaguar, or the panther. So imagine next, if you will, with the vulture, with the great condor flying overhead, opening the gates, the doorways to the great heavens and the upper worlds, that coming up from the jungles that we'll be going through on a train at some point when we go to Machu Picchu, coming up through the jungle area and circling around the mountains. The great pumas guarding the Kayapacha, guarding the place of humans, of four-leggeds, of two-leggeds, guarding the place of the heart, guarding the place of home and what we love, and our journeys in this lifetime. And then if you will, allow the smoke to take you to another place. Allow it to take you down into the depths beneath the earth, down where the roots of the trees go down, down deep into the earth to pull up the minerals, to pull up the nutrients from the earth, to pull up the water from the underwater rivers and streams and aquifers, from that pure place of thriving life force energy. Some call that the lower world or the underworld, but it's the roots of creation on this planet and of all life. The Ukupatra, the lower earth, the lower mama. So we have the, if you will, the heavenly mother. And we have what we can see in this plane from our hearts as human beings, as creatures upon the earth, the mother that we can see when we look out at the mountains, to the trees, to the rivers, the mountains, and the creatures. And then that which we can't see, Kupacha, that which is in the shadows and in the darkness, sometimes things that we're dealing with, that's difficult. But all things must die and go back to the earth to continue to nurture the above worlds. So it's important that we honor all the worlds within ourselves and within these mystery teachings. And we begin now to drop into these energies as we're approaching our time together very soon. That we'll want to, whatever gods or goddesses or spirits or wisdom keepers or archetypes or deities that we are aligned with in our daily lives. And maybe some of you are already aligned with these beings that I've spoken about. And the underworld is the great serpent. It's a great snake. It's the kundalini. It's the life force energy that travels up through the spine of the earth and up through the base of the earth into all the other worlds. So this serpent that snakes its way and spirals its way up through the earth and around our planet, and that creates the path for the puma to walk on and creates the currents of energy for the great condor to fly heavenward on. That these three are partners. That the upper and the lower and the middle are in alignment. And may we also, as human beings, standing upright on two legs, may we lift our spirits like the condor. May we put our feet and our root like the serpent. And may we open our heart and our eyes and our energy fields and our senses, heightened senses, like the puma or the jaguar. And let these energies now tonight begin to be activated in us already, so that in the days to come when we climb onto cars and buses and planes and trains, walking, that they are guiding us now. They are the fuel within us. They are activated archetypes within us, that we will honor these energies of the ancient ones who came before upon these sacred lands. From the Quechua people to the Incan people, the Andean people, the Peruvian people, different peoples at different times. So take a moment before you come back to check in your own heart. To check in your heart about, are you prepared for this journey mentally? Are you prepared for this journey emotionally? Are you prepared for this journey spiritually? Soulfully and shamanically? Are you prepared for this journey physically? Are you ready? for truly a trip, a journey, a shamanic mystery journey of a lifetime. And ask yourself what else you need to do now on any of those levels, at a physical level, on a detail level, emotional, mental, spiritual, any level at all that you need to do now to be ready to enter into this powerful ceremony together that we'll be on together for a couple of weeks. Are you ready? And if not, what do you need to do to get ready? And just take that into your heart for a moment and listen. And so we begin to make the shift now. And then we're going to open our eyes and come back. And we're going to give you some information, and we're going to answer any questions. And if we don't have the answers to the questions, then we are going to find out those answers and get back with you through emails. But the first thing I want to do is just say hello and thank you for being on this evening, and thank you for those who are listening later. We do ask that if you have any questions that we don't answer tonight, or anything that you think of in the next couple of days, that you really go ahead and be asking those questions to yourself and to us, because at the last minute, we're not going to be able to answer a lot of those questions. And we want to be prepared ahead of time. This is not one of those journeys that you want to pack about an hour before you're leaving, that you want to get all your ducks in a row. You want to be doing that now. You want to be packing up your body, your mind, your heart, your soul, your spirit, and your suitcase, and making sure that you've got, that you've left at home behind you a picture or a printout of your passport and a printout of your insurance. And that someone that's staying behind has those in their possession or knows where they are at your home and has access to get those kinds of things. So those are some of the things that you want to make sure that you've done, in addition to packing what you need to. So we're going to answer your questions. I'd like to invite people to pass the talking stick and to say, I don't have anything to ask, or I do have something to ask. That way we make sure that we've touched base with everybody. And like I said, if people are listening to this later on, you can feel free to email us. But please do that sooner rather than later, because we'll have a lot of last minute details. And if you don't ask us sooner rather than later, you might just have to wait with that question until you get to Peru. Okay? So you can turn that. I've got these two guys here on either side of me, and they'll help answer questions, because they have some of the logistical questions that they're handling and taking care of that I'm not. So you can unmute everybody. Is everybody in? Okay?
So do you want me to unmute everybody or start with a talking stick?
Let's start with a talking stick, and let's just start. If we click onto you and turn you on, and Nico tells you who you are, and you don't have anything, you can just say that, say hi, and then we'll pass on to the next person.
Oh. So Lisa, I'm going to start with you. You're the first one on our screen. I've got you unmuted.
Hi everybody. Hi. I'm Lisa, San Antonio. So I don't know if this was covered or not, but as far as luggage, are we going to, do we need to take something small, medium size? Are we going to be wheeling it around? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So for the domestic flights and things, we can take luggage up to 50 pounds. And what I would suggest is be mindful that at times you might be moving your own luggage around. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of different transportation, like the domestic flight from Lima to Cusco, and then also going on the train to Machu Picchu, and then the flight back to Cusco. And so with that foot travel, there may be times when you need to move your luggage around. So just be mindful of that. I would suggest having probably about a medium-sized suitcase. I'll be bringing 2 larger suitcases, one for Starwolf and one for myself, and just really packing what you absolutely need, but leaving space for maybe what you might find there with shopping and things. I imagine, like here in the States, that if you pack right up to 50 pounds and then say you buy like 20 pounds worth of things you want to bring home, I imagine you might end up spending like $100 for that extra 20 pounds, something like that. So just keep that in mind.
It's not only that, Nico. The planes are small that go from Lima to Cusco, and they actually won't put more suitcases on the plane if they're full. So you can't say, I'm going to buy another suitcase and bring stuff home. Okay. My encouragement to you is to travel as light as possible, and we'll talk about, about what you can bring. But I would say that, remember that you're going to be out almost every day. You're going to be out. It's not like we're ever going to be at a fancy restaurant. The only fancy restaurant we might be at is at the last day for those of us who are going to meet in Lima as we all come back from the trip. We're going to go out. It's not even fancy. It's just a really nice restaurant, but they're used to people coming in a lot of different ways. You probably can't wear a sleeveless shirt or that sort of thing. But everything else, even though the hotel is nice, and even though the places, we're mainly eating in our hotels, and which is a 5-star resort spa. But then when we get to Machu Picchu, we'll be eating probably at a little restaurant that's there. You can wear basically, kind of like your safari shirts, and be on safari basically. And, you want to have layers, but be on safari, kind of have a jacket that you could kind of wear every day and then tie around your waist when it gets hot in the middle of the day. I would say, I'm going to go ahead and address that part. I would say have on some sort of either sleeveless, or I've seen people watching Vera, she's there with a group right now, and I've seen people in tank tops during the day. I've seen them a little later on in the day with the shirts with sleeves, and I've seen them at night with their jackets, like what I've got on here. So I would say, you have like something that's almost sleeveless, then maybe a button up, and that could be tied or thrown in your backpack, and then a jacket that's really maybe close to fitting to your body, that's warm, that zips up, maybe with a hood in case the wind is blowing, that sort of thing. Not until we go to bed at night is it going to get real cold. The temperatures at that altitude will really drop, but you'll be under nice big fluffy down blankets at that time. But you want to be prepared through the day to have that kind of clothing. And like I said, you're going to have your hiking boots, or whatever kind of hiking shoes you're going to have on. So there's not this is not one of those trips like where you're going to wear a lot of frilly clothing and goddess clothing and those kinds of things, because you're going to be out in the mountains, and you're going to be in sacred sites that are ruins, and you're going to be in fields, walking across the fields to get to things and stuff.
Can you talk about how much we'll be walking? That was a question from some folks.
Yeah, I want to see if we've answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. It's good to see you. I can't wait to see you and hug you. And as far as walking goes, we'll be on a very comfortable bus, and we'll have some wonderful guides. I don't know if we're going to have Guido or Alberto. We will probably have a couple of guides with us, including Vera. Most of you have know this, but Vera's been going for 21 years now. And is it 21 or 22? Do you remember? Maybe it's 30. I don't know. I'm trying to think how long she's been going. But anyway, it may be 29 years, but she's been going a lot. And she's been going, she was one of the first people that started going there. And so, she was going there before there was some of the organizations that go over there now, that the bigger ones, and that train people and that sort of thing. And so she didn't learn from teachers that were going over there. She's always learned directly from the actual people who live there, from the men and women there, from the Quechua people, from the Andean people, that sort of thing. And so she has, what she has advised about the walking is that, you only go as far as you need to go. So I want to say that up front. For instance, when we go to Pisac, that's a fairly steep mountain climb. And it's a path and there's trails, but you have to kind of step up, kind of like on steps then they're not really steps. And the gravel moves under your feet and those kinds of things. So that's probably, to me, that was probably the most challenging place was Pisac. And it's really beautiful climb up there. When you get up there, there's a ruins of a city up there. And it's where it's basically where the priest and priestesses and astrologers lived until they were killed up there. There's a chair that's woven out there that you sit in, carved out of stone, and it said that that's where the master astrologer sat and watched the stars and the moon and everything, so that they could tell the people it's time to grow the crops, it's time to harvest the crops, and those kinds of things. So it's a really powerful place. I sat down in it and I left. And then after that, each one of us took a turn. We did a ceremony of sitting there and had a whole ceremony around it. But I will say that it's not an easy climb. And we basically, for any of you who know Barb Westover, we basically had to carry her back down, or 3 or 4 of us. And so, and she made it down. There's one picture that I saw not too long ago. It said, and it was me.
I'm going to tell her.
Me and Joe Daughtery, and I can't remember, there was 3 or 4 of us, and Brad carrying her down the mountain. So it's a lot easier coming down, but she had hurt her knees going up. So yeah, when we are going to the villages, that's pretty easy. The bus pulls up, we get out, we walk around the streets. If it's too much for you, you can go and sit at a restaurant out. It's all mostly outdoors. You can get a coffee, or you can get one of their coca teas, that helps with elevation, those kind of things. There's beautiful things to buy, and it's very, very inexpensive. So you can, you might want to leave your suitcase about half empty, because there's some beautiful jewelry and beautiful stones and carvings, and there's shawls and things like that, and both of my grandsons in Maryland have already said, "Mammy, bring us back souvenirs." And I'm like, okay, and some of the finer jewelry and stuff, of course, is going to cost a lot of money, but a lot of things in the market are very inexpensive, and you definitely do, like Mexico, you definitely haggle. They expect it, and they're kind of offended if you don't. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a bit of a game, so you do that. But anyway, so there's going to be walks to certain temples, like in Moray, we go right to it, above it, and you can look down and see it. I will tell you that it's a challenge to climb down into it, and it's a challenge to climb back up. And even a couple of times ago when I was there with Vera, she wasn't well, so she stayed up at the bus. And I know Brad and I went down with everybody. So, we really will work with everybody to do our best. Obviously, we can't carry everybody on our backs, but we'll get people as close as we can to the sites, so there's not as big of a hike. Some of the places, it's just, like even at Moray, it would not be that hard to hike if the elevation wasn't so high. But you really find yourself getting winded, and it's usually at the beginning of the trip that we do it, and you're usually not as acclimated, so it's a little harder. But we allow plenty of time. And there's no marathon here. There's no anybody trying to impress anybody. We're a community of people on a shamanic journey together. We watch out for one another. We stay back with people a little bit, and that sort of thing. If Vera's leading a ceremony, then I might stay back and come down with some people. They're coming slower. If I'm leading the ceremony, that kind of thing. So there's certain things we'll have to go ahead and do, because we do have groups that are waiting for us to get through, for them to come in or something, But we will, it'll be timed beautifully. There'll be plenty of things that people who have difficulty climbing, I think, can really enjoy. The villages. When we do Aini, that's going to be really, really special. I can tell you that both times that we were there, beyond, even above going to Machu Picchu, was being with a village of people that we got to not be tourists with, but to be family with and connect with, and to give our offerings to them. And that is such a powerful experience that, there's no words for that except to say the gratitude and love that coming from these people will blow your mind, and how simple they are, and how loving and grateful they are, and how forthcoming and willing they are to share. Many traditions, I know this is not asked, I'm going to move on just a second, but many traditions and traditional teachers around the world that I've been with are very selective about who they share their teachings with. There's almost a kind of a standoffness. There's almost kind of like you have to pass certain criteria before they would share with you. The people there are not that way. They really believe that these teachings are for everyone. In fact, they were told by their priests, if you will, they don't call them priests, they're the Cuero shamans. They were told that some years ago, they called themselves the older brothers, and we're the younger brothers, that the younger brothers basically were in deep doo-doo, and that the world was in trouble, and that they were to come down out of the mountains and start giving their teachings to anybody who would listen. So the Dalai Lama's like that too. And so I really believe like that. And I'm really excited that that's the way they are. So they just want to give to you as much as they can, and put you in touch with their ancestors, because they're really praying that we're going to be the ones that go back out into the world. They're not able to. They're there holding it. But that we're going to be the ones that go back out in the world and make a difference in the world. So, yes.
Thank you. Did you talk about boots specifically for walking?
Well, I've seen people wear Birkenstocks that fit really well with thick socks. I've seen people, wear, just some really good hiking boots that have a secure support up around the ankle, especially if you think you might twist, if your ankle twists, because things can be gravelly or dirty. It's not like there's pristine steps or that sort of stuff to things. You're in nature. And some people just wear a really good pair of tennis shoes, basically. I've got this pair of Skechers hiking sandals that I like to wear. Just be aware that you can scuff your toes and scrape your feet, so you want to wear a pair of thick socks if you wear something like that. Whatever you feel like that really grips the ground when you walk and that you feel comfortable with.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome. Keith, I'm not sure if you can be on for a while or not, so I'm going to unmute you.
Okay. Do you see me running around setting up to teach my class at the gym?
Oh, I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, we're at the gym. Getting ready to teach a cardio class at the gym because I'm getting ready to go hike a mountain. I'm getting ready to go hike a mountain. So I can't hear you guys anymore.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, there you go. So the only other question I had, or questions I had, you answered a lot about the clothing and such. The other question was, is there anything that we should be aware of for altitude adjustment and things along those lines?
Yes. One of the things you can do if you haven't started already is go to your local health food store and get some chlorophyll.
Okay.
Put that in your tea or your coffee. It will make your lips, tongue, and teeth look green.
That's good.
But you can, it's too late. There's something you can buy that's called OXYG2 at some of the health food stores, and take those, and it starts delivering more oxygen to your body. But I didn't know about those before, but Vera just sent me some because I'm very sensitive to the altitude. But before, what I did was I started the chlorophyll, and you just you can look on it and see what it says, because you need to build up a little bit with that. Now would be a good time to start. Tomorrow would be a good time to start. Sometimes you can even in a drugstore, if it's a fairly progressive drugstore.
Right.
Also, you want to, like about 3 or 4 days before you come, you want to eat, a little bit lighter. They encourage you to eat lightly there, to eat smaller meals and to eat lighter. And you'll see that at the restaurants. You can get a steak there, but I'm just saying they encourage, most of the people are vegetarian or just you.
Okay.
When I say vegetarian, they're not strict vegetarian because they eat, sometimes they are eating eggs and things like that. They even have guinea pigs that are kind of like their chicken.
Cooey.
So, but anyway, they eat a lot of quinoa. They eat a lot of different kind of potato dishes and stuff like grains and things like that.
And you can buy oxygen too, right?
Well, I was going to get there.
Yeah.
You won't need it in Lima, and you can't take it on the plane, obviously. But when you
Right.
get to Cusco, the minute you get off the plane and you walk across the tarmac into the building at it's a fairly small airport thing there in Cusco. When you walk in, there's a stand, and they have these little things of oxygen that you can buy. I would encourage you to buy a couple of them. They're not super expensive. I think they're like $10 each.
Right.
And they last. I mean, they've got a lot of puffs in them. And believe me, I know because I use them. And I mean, I just every few minutes, quite frankly, because we're in Cusco and we're at about 12,000 or more feet, maybe.
Right.
It's high. And I mean,
but then do we immediately go down to the Sacred Valley after? Like, we're not spending a period of time up in Cusco, right?
Well, but we'll all get there, and nobody does anything quickly. and
Okay, that's going to be an issue for me.
not quick. These people live out in an isolated area of the world. Right? Nobody hurrying them, and if you hurry them, go slower. So
right.
You're going to, you're going to move very slowly. You're going to be standing there holding your breath, saying, "Hurry up and buy the oxygen." Anyway, start puffing on it, and they get your suitcases, and it takes a while, and da 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 da.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
Then then once we come out of there, into the main area, we'll come out, and we want to make sure, of course, we're all together, and then we'll all come out, and then they're outside. There'll be a massive amount of people standing there behind a rope with signs waiting for people and that sort of thing. And you'll see your person, that sort of thing. But we'll talk more about that in a minute.
Okay.
But anyway, you'll get your oxygen. And you can't overdose on it. Just use it as much as you need to. And then when you get to your space, when you get to the Sacred Valley, you'll get on. Well, you'll get on. I think the bus will be right there. You may
private bus.
No, but I think you might have to walk across a parking lot or whatever. But you'll get on the bus. Once you're on the bus and all your luggage is on and you're kicked back just doing your oxygen, then you just lean back and just kind of lay loose and don't exert yourself. Drink plenty of water. They'll have water for you. And you'll start down to Sacred Valley. It'll take about an hour to get there.
Okay.
And you'll find yourself coming down to a level of about, I think it's about 7,000 or 8,000, which, can sound like a lot right now. What is Sedona? Is it 5,000?
Sedona's around 5, and then Flagstaff is around 7.
Yeah. So,
And Phoenix, we're at about 12.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 12 feet.
So 1,200 feet. So 1,200 feet.
Oh, I thought you were playing with us like 12,000.
No, not 12,000 feet. 1,200 feet.
Yeah. So anyway, so by the time you get to Sacred Valley, you're gonna be feeling lightheaded but better, and you're gonna get pretty quickly into your rooms, and once you're gonna have nice rooms, you're gonna be in a beautiful space. You're going to be able to sign up for spa treatments and massages. There's a place in there where you can go 24/7 to get the coca tea, and that's something you're going to want to do immediately.
Right. I'm going to do that anyway.
That stuff like you're an alcoholic.
Right.
Care of anything, and you can even ask them if they'll give you some leaves. They really don't like to sometimes, but they'll let you have some leaves.
Right.
Put them on your tongue and just chew them directly.
Right.
By the time we get to the next day, you're going to be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The other question I had was I've heard things about money, and that about them taking American money, the American money needs to be pristine in order for them to take it. to exchange it. And then the other thing is, when and where will we be exchanging it in Peru?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen, Keith, is a few of us, like start with myself and Vera, are actually going to be at Sacred Valley on October 2nd. So we'll be ahead of everybody, as will a few other participants. The bulk group will be meeting in Lima at the airport in the morning. And so I sent this out, and I'll send it out again. Everyone has a 9:45 a.m. flight together.
Okay.
October 5th. So what you're going to do is you'll meet in the airport. Once you go through and you give them your ticket and you go and find your gate, you're going to see Jason there. And Jason's going to have
he and I are rooming together in Lima.
In Lima. And so he'll check on everybody, make sure everybody in the group makes it there okay, and you'll all gather together as a group, and then you'll get on the plane. When you get off the plane in Cusco, other than going and buying the oxygen, which we really suggest that you all stay together as a group, just go and get oxygen, get your luggage, and then you're going to go straight out of the airport, and you're going to see our host Alberto and also Don Wilbert, and they're going to have a sign saying Vera Lopez's group. And so you'll gather with them, and they're going to take you. Either they're going to have somebody with them, or they're going to take you where there's somebody who can exchange money for you. They said not to do it in the airport. If you haven't come with Peruvian bills, wait until you're with the guide, and then they'll take you to where you can actually exchange your money.
Okay.
And so again, we suggest that you really pay attention to getting smaller bills where you can, because not everybody, especially in villages and things, are set up to take larger bills.
Right.
You know, like hotels and things, they do credit cards and everything else. But we're talking more like if you're out in the villages and
the market and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's when you'll have that opportunity to exchange money.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot of opportunity on the trip in the Sacred Valley to exchange money.
So pretty much do all the exchanging in the beginning.
I suggest to do so.
Yeah. And that's why I just wanted to, but one of the women was saying that I work with is from Peru, and she's like, you need to make sure there's not a wrinkle, a crease, a piece of tape, or not anything on your American money, or they won't take it.
Yeah, like I just have fresh bills from the bank. You know, I've got everything where it's all in an envelope.
Right. And then also you wanted us to give you $100 in cash for tips, correct? In American money.
Yeah. So for the for the tips, $100. And if you could just go ahead and put it in an envelope for me that says my name on it, Nicholas.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I kept that separate and also just make sure that was still happening.
Yeah. And so if you could also put your names on the envelope so I know who it comes from. And then that way it really helps me. Some folks have asked about sending me the tip money ahead of time. I can't do that because I'm bringing money with me to Peru, and I can only travel so much, and I don't want to have all that money on me until we actually get together as a group, and I'll collect it all that first evening together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It really works well. You know, anybody can obviously tip anybody they want to anytime they want to. And to be honest with you, you know, you start feeling close to people and you want to give people tips, you know, who come and make your bed sometime or something, or you want to give a tip to, you know, this or that, and feel free to tip as much as you want. These people are wonderful. They are, you know, they will take care of us fabulously. Feel free to tip as much as you want, but that's completely up to you, you know, and you know, by having the tip set aside, it allows you to relax and to let go. Think about every day, you know, like, oh wow, Guido was so great today, or he helped me up the mountain, or he went and got me a Pepsi, or, you know, or whatever.
Right.
You know, and suddenly you're like, and how much? And you're asking us, and you're asking them, and they'll say, oh, nothing. You know, so this way it just kind of takes that uncomfortable kind of weird feeling away and saying, okay, this is a nice tip we'll give, and Vera will handle that and take care of it.
Perfect.
You got anything else for us before you have to teach your class? I'm
good. I'm going to go step.
Can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you either. It's going to be awesome. Going to be awesome. And I'm going to leave this going. I'll just make sure you keep me muted. Otherwise, you're going to hear a bunch of music.
I'll be here right. Thank you.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
I'm going to jump over here to Sharon. I've got you next to my screen here.
Sharon.
Hello.
Hello, Sharon.
Oh, hang on, I wonder if it got.
Hey,
Oh,
there,
sorry.
can you hear me?
We can, yes. Oh, hang on, it's delayed. Okay, can you try that again?
Okay.
Hi.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, hello, everybody. First of all, I'm getting excited. I can't believe I'm doing this. I just decided to do it like 3 weeks ago. Nicholas is very aware of that last minute, but here I am. Question. The airport hotel, do I need to make reservations? And what do I expect to charge? What the charge will be?
You absolutely do need to make reservations. The Wyndham Hotel is what we're suggesting for reservations, and it's roughly around $200 a night, give or take.
Wow. And that's my only option for sleeping over at the hotel, right?
That's the closest option to the airport. You can look into other options. However, since you have to be at the airport, you have a 9:45 a.m. flight. You need to be there no later than 7:45 a.m.
Okay.
Sharon, I will tell you this. It's not comfortable in the airport, but the first time that I went, we because we didn't get in till like 12 or 1 in the morning or something, and by the time we got our luggage and and everything else, it was, I don't know, 2 or 3. We just stayed there. We didn't get a hotel,
Okay.
But the second time I went, we did. We had one that was right across the street. And now that was in 2012. And at that time, it was about $150. So it's gone up. But there's not very many of them right there. And that's why they can afford to do that, charge people. In fact, at this point, I don't even know if, if you're going to check, you need to check immediately. And there are other, Lima's a city. So there's hotels all around. But you would want to be careful. And you'd have to get a taxi. And you want to make sure that it's a real taxi, and it's, what I mean, those kinds of things. It's a little iffy.
Sketchy.
Going too far
Yeah.
apart.
Okay. So either I will go ahead and take the hotel, or I'll just wander around the airport all night and
take your pillow and your blankie and do what I've done before, and just find a corner and lay down and set your
right.
off, when it's time to get on the plane.
Yeah. Okay. That's, I'm not afraid to do that either. Okay. So I will look up and then how do I go about making reservations should I decide to do so?
We suggest doing it at booking.com.
Okay. All right. I think that's all I have. I was just wondering about that, the hotel. And I'm sure everything else will unfold.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we look forward to seeing you, Sharon. And I think that you're going
Thank
to have
you.
an amazing journey.
That's why I signed up. Okay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Oh, and I'm going to jump over to the other Sharon. Sorry about that confusion. Here we go.
That's okay. Hi, you guys.
Hey.
Hi,
Good
Sharon.
to see you. I'm excited. I got a couple of questions. Since we are going to be limited on how many bags and such, will there be laundry facilities so we can wash clothes? Okay, good.
Well, when you said wash clothes, they wash them for you, and it's pretty inexpensive.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, that's fine.
Things little bag, and you set it out if you want them to wash them, and they usually wash them and return them the same day if you put them out in the morning or the next morning. And we're in at the Sacred Valley the entire time we're there. We're at our beautiful resort, which you're going to love. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Oh, good.
It's built up around what was an old mission. So there's a mission church in it that's the original mission church, that you can go in. It's got the great big organ. It's, you know, it's not used. And you can walk upstairs, and there's the big bell that they ring, and you can ring that and make fun pictures up there. And it's, you know, and then come back down. And then it's a very modern hotel, but it's, you know, made in this old mission. And then there's courtyards, and different courtyards you can walk around and explore. And there's this waterway, of course, that goes through there, and it's got all these fish in it that, you know, that all these, what do you call them? Those little, those goldfish, those koi. And they're everywhere. You can feed them and stuff, and you can sit outside and eat outside, or you can eat inside. And anyway, so you can close out, and there's if they still have them, they had peacocks walking around the grounds, and they had llamas, and you could go and pet them and feed them, and you know, so it's
I'm sure you've put together nice facilities. I just don't want to overpack. So if they've got that service, that's wonderful. Yeah. And then I have another question. You guys have gotten us the train tickets from Cusco to Machu Picchu, right? So don't have to worry about that. Okay, and for mosquito repellent, are the wipes better than a spray?
I'm probably not the best person to ask that, because mosquitoes don't bite me. I don't know. I don't use the spray because it bothers me. But what about the wipes? What are you gonna do?
I don't know about wipes. I don't do anything. I just let them bite me.
But you know, I don't know about you, but I mean, I've always just, you know, used like the lavender spray on my wrist and ankles, because I have on long sleeves, you know, and that sort of thing, and around my hair and that sort of thing, just because they buzz, even though they don't bite me. And that always repels them. To me, just to have just a regular bottle of lavender oil and put it in a bottle with some water and spritz it. So if you need something, that has always worked for me.
Okay, and then when you were talking about the exchange of the bills, use smaller bills, pristine bills, but we'll do that with our guide, and he'll take us to the place, correct?
He'll take care of that. And when I was saying smaller bills, not necessarily using smaller bills from you to them, try to get as small of bills from them to you. So Peruvian bills, you want them to be smaller.
Oh, Peruvian bills, okay. Okay.
Just not everybody, like in the markets and things, can break larger bills.
Right. If you're buying, you know, what's equivalent to something in the U.S. that's $5 or $10, you know, you don't want to, you know, or even $3. I mean, you know, things are very inexpensive. You don't want to have something that's like a 20 or a 50 for them to try and hand you back all of this money.
I get it. Okay. And so how will we meet up with our group at the Wyndham when we're there on October 5th to leave? How do we meet up with everybody if you're not going to be there?
You're not going to meet folks at the hotel. What you're going to do is in the morning, you're going to go from the Wyndham Hotel to the Lima Airport. And you're going to go and you're going to have your domestic flight printed out ahead of time. Everyone should probably have their tickets with them before they even leave the States or wherever they're leaving home from. And you're going to go to the Lima Hotel with your ticket, and you're going to get all checked in.
The Wyndham Hotel.
The Lima Airport. And you're going to get all checked in, and then you're going to go to your gate where your flight is going to be taking off from Lima to Cusco. And at the gate, you're going to find Jason and the rest of the group that gathers together.
Oh, okay, fine group there at the gate. Okay, good. All right, and so back to the whole, the question about the bags. If I bring one medium-sized bag and one large carry-on, will that be too much?
I don't know what you mean by a large carry-on.
I mean a carry-on like a bag that I would put like my jacket in and purse and, you know, like some books, that kind of thing.
I think that's a really good way to go.
That's
it's like a medium suitcase, and like I'm going to be doing a roller carry-on bag.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. Okay. Well, I'm excited, you guys. This is quite the adventure. All right. I'm done.
Thanks, Karen.
All right. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. I'm going to watch the rest of this.
Awesome. And we're going to jump right down on my screen to Melissa.
Vidya.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm coming in on the tail end of this, but one question is, she was asking about the flight. Do we have to have a carry-on, or can we check that one bag in Lima?
Check it. You don't have to have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your only question?
Yes, because I have my converter, and I heard her ask about money, but shouldn't we get some money to have on us when we get there? The Peruvian?
You don't need to in the airport, and you're going to meet your guide right outside the airport, and they will support you in getting a money exchange. So it's not necessary.
Are you talking about when you land the first night in Lima?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, you know, you don't need to. You'll land, and you know you can pay for your hotel and anything in your hotel if you bought a snack or drinks to put on your bill with your credit card. You know, the Wyndham. Let me ask you something. The Wyndham, is it the one that they can walk to? They don't.
Yeah, it's right there.
So you're not going to take a taxi or anything. You're just going to look for the exit to go out, and you're going to walk directly to your hotel. You know.
Okay.
Have any of you all checked to see if you're actually flying in at the same time so you can walk over to the Wyndham together? You know?
No, I think she's flying in 3 hours after me, my roommate. So for that night.
And so what time do you land? What time do you get there? You remember?
8:45.
8:45 p.m.
Yes.
And so, you know, all of you are listening here, you can, we'll ask the rest of people when they're getting there that's going to Wyndham. So chances are some of you are coming in at the same time.
Okay.
You're probably, and there's a good chance that that's happening. Like, where does your plane come in from?
Miami, and don't ask me why. That was a change after I booked it.
Okay.
So I'm going from here to Miami to Peru.
Okay. So anyway, there's probably a lot of flights coming in or around the same time. And, you'll have to go through the customs things to take your luggage out with you, So that's one reason you don't want to have a lot of luggage too, because you're going to, hopefully it's a roller or over your shoulder. And then you're going to, go out the exit and you're going to ask somebody.
Crap. It's my dogs.
I asked somebody who speaks English, like Wyndham, and make sure it's in the right direction, and then just go over, and you'll be able to pay for everything with your credit card. Then the next day to.
Yes, you can probably mute me because my dogs are barking.
And we'll jump down to Jill. See, I'm trying to get you unmuted. I don't know.
Hey, oh, okay. Hi, I'm so excited. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can see all of you. I'm sorry I don't have a mic, camera. I'm at work. So I have a couple questions. Sharon answered mine about the laundry because I want to pack really, really light as well. So I've been looking up, do I even need a rain jacket if I'm bringing like I'm just going to try to bring a warm jacket and a rain poncho. Is that enough? I'm thinking now I can cut down because I don't know what the temperatures are.
As well.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring a decent, poncho that's in a bag that I
okay,
carry.
because we're not going to be out at night a lot, it sounds like. So.
No, we're not.
No, okay. Oh, you guys are frozen up on me. I don't know. And then my other question is, do we need to buy any other, I know we're going to the INI project. Do we need to bring any other gifts for anywhere else that we're going for the children? Okay. And then I have a couple more questions. So I ordered my money already, and so they only had a choice of large bills or mix, and I don't know what I'm getting. I have to pick it up on Friday. So when we get to Lima and do the exchange, if I have a larger Peruvian bill, can I exchange it there for smaller ones?
Yeah, when you are with the group, when you actually land in Cusco and you're with your guides in the group in Cusco, you should be able to change some of your bills for smaller bills.
Okay, great. Because I'm hoping they gave me some smaller, but I just don't know. Okay, yeah. And then is there going to be like a lot of water available? Like we could just buy cases of water when we get there so we have it?
Starwolf doesn't go anywhere.
I drink a lot of water and I'm really nervous about the altitude. So I've been doing a lot of research. So I want to make sure I have a lot of water.
No, my sister, Nico has a story about water in South Africa that he's not going to tell right now. But I go crazy if I don't have water and air. And so,
yeah, well, I'm concerned because I do get altitude sickness, so I'm just I've been doing my walking and doing hill walking, and thank you for the chlorophyll and all that. And I actually am getting a homeopathic remedy that's got to do with that leave. But and then I wanted to say to Sharon, who doesn't have a room yet, if she doesn't get a room at the Wyndham, let me check with Ruth. I think I have 2 beds there, but if she I'll send her an email. If she runs into it, I'd be open to she can come stay with us for the night.
Sharon, the other Sharon, did you get that? Sharon, what she just said?
And she's muted.
And
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. If you don't get a room, I'll send you my email, and because I think you're on the list, right? Are you on the email string?
I would hope so.
Yeah. Sharon,
okay, so I'll send you my contact information, and then if you don't get a room, and I'll talk to Ruth. I think Keith was going to stay. I'm trying to think where Keith. I think Keith is staying with somebody in Lima, right? Okay, he's staying with us in LA because with Ruth and I in LA because we're flying into LA the night before we leave for Peru. I'm so confused. We've got all these different hotels. And I think, is it safe to walk from the airport to the Wyndham? It looks like there's just, okay.
Let me ask you a question. What time do you get in?
I think we get in kind of like what Melissa said. I think we're like it's 8:45 at night. We're on JetBlue, and we also fly from California to Florida. But for some reason, I wanted to say Fort Lauderdale, but I'm not sure. I don't have the ticket in front of me.
It could be a good idea to for everybody who's coming in October 5th, like where you land October 4th and you're going to be together October 5th in the Lima airport. If y'all want to start sharing your flight's time that you land in Lima October 5th, that way you guys can kind of team up and be with each other and walk over to the Wyndham and maybe even have it set up where you get together in some groups in the morning and go straight from the hotel to the Lima airport. However y'all want to do that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I was just going to ask Sharon Montgomery, can you undo her again for just a second? Do you know what time you get there, Sharon?
Yes, I do, Star, and I'm arriving at 7:59, so 8 o'clock.
So you see,
okay, so it sounds like
there's a bunch of you that's going to get there, God willing, the creek don't rise. You're going to get there around the same time. It makes sense to me that you all will see each other going through customs.
Yeah.
And that you should, like Nico said, talk to each other ahead of time and keep an eye out from one another. You can, and then, hook up and then just walk over together. And you should get there in enough time, probably. I'm guessing that there's going to be something open in the restaurant to eat until around 9:30 or 10. I'm not sure, but you could check that out too. Maybe when you get there, if you get over there quickly, you can give them your luggage and let them put it in your room for you and go get something to eat before they close.
Yeah, if we just all mass email with our times and stuff, then we can all hook up with each other. That'd be great. So I'm hoping to just go straight to sleep. So.
You have anything else to ask, Jill?
That's it. I'm done. Thank you.
Good.
I'm so excited.
No, I'm going over. I'm coming over to you, Red Feather. Oh, hang on. My internet's doing something funny.
Hey there.
Hi there.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello. All right. I was checking over the handouts that were sent a number of months ago, and I just wanted to confirm that there are no lunches or dinners that are provided as part of what we paid for the trip. Is that correct?
Hold on just a second.
No, that doesn't sound correct to me. What I think is correct is that anything outside of group meals you cover yourself. But we've never done any trip where we don't include some meals. So let me see.
Okay, what I was reading said breakfast only.
Let me see. What were you reading?
Oh my.
Was it packet or emails?
It was the info packet. I'd have to flip around to try to get to where I saw it, but I was reading it this morning. With under the terms and conditions, this package price includes all breakfasts, and that's all it says. So from that, what I'm deducing is that means no lunches and no dinners.
Yeah, it's the registration form she's saying. Do you have any other questions while I look into this one?
Yeah.
Let's
okay.
ask other questions.
Okay. On the subject of food, I did write down that I need gluten-free and possibly dairy-free, because at the time I filled it out, I wasn't sure where I would be with dairy, but I do need dairy-free as well. I'm assuming that that is manageable, that the chefs or places we're going to eat speak good enough English that we can that they understand what that means.
Yes, and I'm completely 100% gluten and dairy-free.
Okay.
I do eat, you know, I don't even eat, sometimes, if you're at home, I don't eat that many grains at all. You know, I will eat quinoa there. It's, you know, gluten-free. You know, what I do for breakfast is that I'm taking with me what I have for breakfast every day, which is my Vega 1 green shake, you know, and then they'll have almond milk or soy milk or whatever there. And what I did before is I had them make my shake in their blender with fresh fruit and stuff every morning. But they also have eggs, and they have, you know, for people who eat meat, they have bacon and those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll have any kind of bread that's gluten-free, and I don't really eat bread anyway. But they'll have meat. They'll have, you know, in the morning they'll have eggs. They'll have fruit. You know, I also usually take my own little packets of oats that are gluten-free, things like that. I just take a few things like that for myself, my meat sticks and things like that. But you know, I'm like a really finicky person with food, because I can't, you know, I don't do gluten, I don't do dairy. I really do low sugar, don't do that many grains.
Yeah, me too.
You know, all those kinds of things. Their meats don't have preservatives in them because all their meat is, you know, free range meat there in the mountains, you know, and that sort of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's pretty healthy, you know, and I didn't have a hard time with food last time. We did eat out at a couple of times at a restaurant, because as we were traveling and that sort of thing. And I can't remember what I ate, but I remember, you know, I don't think they even really knew what I was talking about when I said gluten and dairy free at those restaurants in the villages. But whatever I ate, it didn't bother me. You know, I didn't eat anything with dairy in it. You know, they didn't know what dairy was, but I could say no cheese, no milk, you know, no butter, that sort of thing. But whatever I ate, it didn't hurt me at all. You know, so their food is pretty clean, a lot cleaner than our food here. Okay. So it might be a little challenging when we first get to Machu Picchu, which is the last few days. You won't have any problem in Cusco. In Cusco, you could say gluten and dairy free in a restaurant. So,
okay.
But make sure that you bring, you know, Stephanie, make sure, like me, bring some stuff for you. You know, some meat sticks, if you eat meat, you know, some nuts if you do nuts, some protein things for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. On the subject of water, is any water provided? Like, does, you know, like every night in the hotel you get a bottle of water, or is there water available on the bus? I'm trying to get a gauge of how much I need to purchase versus what will be provided.
I know that they bring bottle. Let me put it this way. It's been, the last time I was there was with Brad and 6 years ago. And I can ask Nico to check with Vera on that. You know, we emailing with her now. She's already there. But we can still do that. Last time they had bottles of water for us every morning. You know, when they came in and changed the room, they put bottles of water in for us. The water in the last time in the dining area when we had glasses of water, it was safe to drink the water there because it was filtered water. And on the bus, I remember at that time they just gave us bottles of water. But I'll ask Nico to double check and ask.
I'm double checking with her about the meals and the water just to get
Okay,
clear.
awesome. Okay. All right, next question. I know we've talked a lot about money. What I'm gathering is that I'm trying to get a feel for how much cash I need to bring versus what I can use my card to pay for. So what I'm getting is I can probably use my card in the restaurant, like if we're eating in the hotel or the restaurant. But
Your room.
okay. And then, okay, in the market, we pretty much need cash. I'm guessing that there's not a lot of vendors that take credit cards.
Well, it's depending on which markets we're in. When we go to, if we go to PSOC and we're in that market, which I hope we go to that market because that's my favorite market. And that one is like a ton of tents like lined up together, and it's just vendors who come under the tents. And so a good portion of them do not have machines. Now it's interesting, even in 2012, from 2010 when we went to 2012, people, which looked like the poorest of poor, had started to have those little things on their phone where they could do credit cards, you know, because it came out about then. And that's how they're making their money. So there were quite a few people that had those, but you can't, you know, if you see something in one store and, you know, under one tent and they don't have it, you know, it's a unique piece. You'll find a lot of things in a lot of places. So if you can't buy it there, you can go someplace else. If you see something, and I know how you are, you're like me, you're going to want to look for a unique piece, you know, and you find that unique piece and it's with somebody that doesn't have it, you know, you want to have some money. Yeah. The other thing is that we found that, you know, as a group, we all too had each other's back. We were running a little low on it and that person didn't have money and say, oh, and we'd say, okay, you know, how much do you need? And we just help each other out. I will tell you that in Machu Picchu, because it's more touristy at the base of the mountain, that their markets are much more touristy and they're much more commercialized. And even though they have a lot of the same things that they have at other places all over, they've all got cash registers and zip cards and, you know, and credit cards and stuff. So.
Okay. What Vera recommended was kind of a general number of $1,000 to exchange to have that on you just in case of anything that might come up on the trip.
And that's about what I was at in my head. So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last question is probably going to be one you'll need to pass on to Vera because you know that me and Shannon and Ray are coming in early. And I remember from a conference a number of months ago that Vera was arranging for somebody to meet us in Cusco to take us to the Sacred Valley, but we don't have that information. So when we're in Cusco, I don't know who to look for. I don't know the name. I don't know if it's a car or a bus or whatever. So I would just feel more comfortable knowing who or what to look for.
I'm going to actually have, I'm sorry, Red Feather. I'm going to have you send an email to Vera and include me on it so I make sure that it gets answered and let her know, remind her that you three will be coming in early and ask her what that protocol is. She hasn't shared any of that information with me, so I think that would be something that would be quicker directly to you.
And if you would please put me on that too, Stephanie. Put Nico and I both on there because we'll definitely see that gets answered. She's with the group, but she's also been pretty available at the end of the day, and we'll make sure that gets answered for you.
Awesome. All right.
And
Checking my
exactly
notes.
when are you guys getting in?
We arrive in Lima on the 2nd, and then we fly to Cusco the morning of the 3rd.
At the 3rd. Okay.
Mhm.
The day after.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll already be there, but you'll get there a day after we do, and you know this, but just come straight in, get your room, get your water, go to bed. Get the tea, and go to your room and go to bed with your oxygen tank.
Right. All right. Very good. That's all my questions. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
Look forward to seeing you there.
And we'll jump over to Patricia Jones.
Got the speaker off the bottom.
It takes a minute sometimes. Let's see. There we go. Patricia, can you hear us?
Patricia?
She was having a hard time hearing us earlier. Are you with us, Patricia? I will circle back to you.
And Patricia, why don't you text Nico if you have any questions. If we can't hear you and you can't hear us, can you give her your text number?
Yeah, it's in the message that you and I have going. And we will go over to, let's do this 614 ending in 9826.
Hello, 9826. The last 4 digits of your phone number are 9826.
You're unmuted. Yeah. Okay, so Patricia just said that she doesn't have any questions, that she can hear us. And again, 614, no, it's 325-99826. I have a feeling it's Minnesota. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna go over to the next 614 number ending in 9826.
Hello. This is that's me, Trish from Australia. I do have a couple of questions. I'm noticing that you refer to a tourist card in the documents that you sent through. It says Peruvian law requires visitors to always carry their passport and tourist card. And I'm just wondering, I don't know what a tourist card is.
Yeah, that's a great question. I have no idea what a tourist card is either. I just know that we'll have passports and driver IDs on us.
Oh, okay. So there is no thing called a tourist card. Yeah. I've been trying to Google it to see, and I can't find it anywhere. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all right then. I thought there might be something that I was missing. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, is it possible for us to get an itinerary of what we do each day, or is it not that sort of planning?
Yes.
So
both questions or both answers here, Jason enlightened us, and what we believe the traveler card thing may be is the thing you fill out on the plane when you're actually entering into another country.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's not something I've got to look into now. Great. Okay.
I believe you actually registered. Yeah, so I can send that itinerary to you, and it's also on both Vera's and our webpage at shamanic.breathwork.org.
Oh, okay.
What we're planning on for each day.
Subject to change.
Oh, okay then. Fine. Subject to change. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Okay, fine. And now, Jay, Maku and I are coming from Australia, and I'm not sure if Jay's on at the moment or not, but we were just wondering, like, if we can put a number on roughly how much the meals might be, just so we, just so we know, because we're on Aussie dollars. But we will be bringing American. Yeah.
I'm in communication with Sarah around meals. So when I hear back from her, I will inquire as to what meals aren't a part of the package. What is the general cost you can expect for those meals?
Yeah. Okay, then fine. Okay, thanks a lot. Yep, that's the only questions that I have. And look, I do have another one. When we buy the oxygen at the airport, we can pay in American dollars. We won't need the Peruvian dollars then.
No,
Is that correct?
I think
Yep.
that
Okay, then fine.
if I remember correctly, I think we pay with a $10 bill, but also I'm pretty sure you can run your debit card on, because none of us had, had any money, I don't think, at that point. At
that point, yep. Okay.
So that should not be a problem. And I am going to definitely see that we can find out exactly from Vera, and Nico will do that, exactly which meals are covered. And I will tell you that, there were times that I, for whatever reason, didn't make it to mealtime, and I ate at a different time or whatever, and I ordered something off the menu, later because I slept late, and ordered something, at night late because the bar was open till 10 or 11. I could still get food in the place, that sort of thing. And I remember that in the resort, that the food cost was about what you would expect here in the United States. It was about the same. In the restaurants, we didn't eat out that much in other restaurants. We pretty much went back to our meal times at the hotel and stuff. But in what people find, I know this, Vera really encourages, and I didn't understand this at first, but she really encourages eating a really good breakfast, having some snacks for yourself, and basically eating 2 meals a day. And I know Nico, he eats about 5 meals a day. So, but for most of us, quite frankly, in the altitude, I found that, and at first I thought, oh, well, that won't work for me because I have to have a lot of meals. I found out that was true for me. So I had my breakfast, I had my snacks. When we came back, if we came back in the afternoon, I just wanted to go to my room and lay down and rest, or lay by the pool or something, or go play with the peacocks or something, or nap until that evening, and then come back out for dinner. And I found that was more than enough. And at the high altitude, for some reason, there's just this feeling of needing to feel lighter, and that feeling like I just didn't need as much food. So I don't know if that's going to be true for the rest of you, but it seemed like it was true for all of us on our trip. Hardly anybody ate more than 2 meals a day and some snacks or something. And it wasn't because we were skimping. So you can see what you feel. But when we were out and ate at the restaurants out, which was not very often, because most of the time, like I said, we came back, we were just eager to get back to our hotel. Those places were not expensive. They weren't as expensive as, it says the Zoom can't detect the sound from my microphone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
yes, thanks. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, that's great. And I don't have any more questions.
Okay. And we'll find out more about the food and let you all know just as soon as possible, because that's an important issue. I know it is for me.
Okay, then fine. Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, bye-bye.
And then we have a 952 ending in 2543.
Hi, this is Deb.
Hey, Deb.
I've had most of my questions. Hi, I've had most of my questions answered. My plane gets in around 11:30 p.m. on the 4th. So, and I'm coming in from Atlanta. So it sounds like I'm one of the last people to get there.
On the same day?
I think mine does too.
You come in from Atlanta?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty typical time for some of our group, Deb. I know Jason's coming in from Atlanta at that same time.
Jason thinks he's on that same flight.
Oh, he's on the one that I'm on?
He thinks so. He's looking right now.
Oh, wonderful.
That exact same flight on October 1st is when ours is, but it's the same time as yours, yeah.
But Jason's is another day.
Okay, great.
The same as hers,
right? I think Jason's is the same day, and he's flying in from Asheville to Atlanta.
Yeah, I get into Lima at 11:35.
He gets into Lima at 11:35 p.m. What airline?
Delta. Perfect. Great.
That you?
Yep.
Yep. Y'all will be
together. That's me too.
Oh.
Yay. Okay.
Mystic's gonna come too, he said. Okay.
I couldn't hear that. But anyway, thank you. See you guys soon.
Yep. So
Can't
that was
wait to see
everybody
you,
tonight.
Dad. Was that everybody?
So I'll write up a little bit of a synopsis of the different questions we covered and send it out in a group email. And I'll also suggest there that everybody share their flight times for October 4th so that y'all can just be connected with one another. And then also I will send a separate email sharing about the meals once I've heard back from Vera on that.
So if you have any other questions between now and then, please let us know and we'll take care of that. And I just want to encourage you to continue to reflect tonight as you go to sleep and over the next couple of days. Am I ready? Okay, these we're taking care of right now, the chop wood, carry water, you know, where am I going to eat? Where am I going to sleep? You know, what do I need to have? Who's coming in? You know, how can we connect? You know, what kind of money do we need? Those kinds of things. And that's the earth realm. And those are the, you know, the things that we have to do. But also, you know, think about, you know, when you're coming, that, you know, the attitude that you want to come. I've already started tonight. When I asked us all to check in, the first thing that I thought of is, oh, I want to go ahead and pack tomorrow and the next day. I want to go ahead and get ready. Nico doesn't believe me. He's standing over there on the other side of the room laughing. But, and Jason's laughing to the left. But whether I do it or not, I thought that's what I want to do, because the last couple of days I'm here, I want to start unplugging mentally and emotionally from here. And I want to, you know, go ahead and get a little note that's on my computer and everything, and that says, hey, you know, unplugging, you know, and I'll be back with you in 2 weeks, contact Venus Rising, you know, that sort of thing. I really want to let myself not just hit the ground running there, but to be already very much be in the mode of the upper world, the middle world, and the lower world, and really calling in those ancient gods, those ancient spirits, the Aku spirits, and already be making a connection with them. And because I've been there before a few times, just remembering my connection, it's like going to see old friends and beginning to connect with them emotionally and spiritually and letting my mind clear out. So I want to encourage everybody, and I know people are busy, but to do what you can to begin to start shifting consciousness. So I guess that's it tonight, and we just want to give you a big hug and big kisses. And next time we see you, we'll be together in the magic of Peru. Wow. I can't wait to see you all there with our oxygen tanks.
Are you guys?
His meat sticks.
And I will have my cell phone at 707-633-9149, which I'll also put in the email. You can text me and call me anytime on that number if you have last minute questions or anything comes up with travel or anything. Yeah, in Peru, anywhere. I'll have that as one of the main emergency contacts for your family to get a hold of me if needed, and anything. So,
you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sharon, oh, okay. I wanted to find out, Chris wasn't able to join us tonight, and so if she wants to watch this again, how do I?
I'm going to show you this link. I'm going to do a follow-up email, and it'll just be a link that you click on, and it'll take you right to this video.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Well,
and we will see you all soon. So,
bye.
Bye.